put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
scratches?
I got scratches. I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my...
I can show you the pictures. I take pictures of you. I'm a stalker. Stalking is a felony, Mr. Perry. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcast yet again. I'm having to repeat myself because clearly we didn't get through in the gazillion podcasts we've done before. And Mr. Perry just had the maintenance guy take a picture of me where I am now. How would you know where I am now if you're not stalking? Remember the guy that said there's 3 people in my office that said, how did they even know she was in Manford? We didn't know that's where she was, but we're not stalking her. Are the allegations not stalking? Creepy guy goes stalker, gets weirdo on her. You're a weirdo. You're a weirdo. Stalking, hacking, being a peeping Tom, coercion, witness tampering, victim tampering, harassment, threats, hacking. All of that's crime, right? You know that? Are you slow still? Your attorneys can't explain it to you. I assert my equal protection right to the Application of Violence Against Women Act, all domestic violence laws, anti-stalking laws, anti-peeping laws, anti-hacking laws, anti-cloning my phone laws, anti-coercion, entrapment, provocation. Didn't Judge Kuykendall already tell you? I need you to leave her the fuck alone. I'm paraphrasing clearly. She didn't use the F word in her courtroom, but I believe it was Judge Kuykendall last year that was smart enough to say, please leave her alone, because what it looks like to me is she moved twice, went through a lot of trouble, started all over again, trying to get away from you and not have a fight, and not have a conflict, and not have a fuss, and not be a scandal. And you're a public servant and a public figure, and what you do in your private life, the public is entitled to know. Here we are, election time again, and they need another smear campaign. So last election, he did a false arrest that he'd been threatening for months. You're going to change your story that you put on the court record because I said so, or else I'll have you false arrested or killed. They tried to kill me. It didn't work, so they did the false arrest. We've been over it and over and over and over it. While I was in jail for that, Mr. Perry told everybody, Mr. Powell, I guess told a defense attorney or two. They all told their clients, and it was all over the jail. When you get home, he's going to harass you. He's going to cause problems for you. And when you talk about it, he's going to lie in a court of law, commit fraud and perjury in a court of law, claim you're harassing him. He's going to lie. He's provoking. It's entrapment. It's coercion. And say that you're harassing him when you tell on him. And you've done it twice in civil court when I wasn't there to show my evidence that you were full of shit. So Judge Kuykendall, I guess when you went in her court trying to do, your thing there that you had planned years before, was smart enough to say, please leave her alone. It looks to me like she's reacting to what you're doing after having gone through a lot of trouble to get away from you. You're going where she is, trying to entrap and provoke. What I need to do is rule all that out. If you'll leave her the hell alone, then there's probably nothing else for her to talk about. You're under police investigation, Mr. Perry. We get a lot of information from those police. I do. It is for my protection. It is intended to document your premeditated crime. I can't even go to work without becoming a victim of crime. Someone else commented on that the other day. It is insane that she has so much problems with work. We have a guy named Pinto who offered her $5,000 to sleep with Mr. Perry, and that is solicitation of prostitution. She was smart enough to record it. And I did, and I'll go over that in a minute. I assert my equal protection right to Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 1512 and 1513, sir. Do you have some sort of gender discrimination problem or misogyny? What is your problem? Listen, everyone gets rejected, everyone moves on. What is your fail that you can't do it? I'm not interested in you. You're a job for me. I was moved to Lubbock to get you elected. I knew exactly who you were and what you were all about. You are a sex criminal. You're a sex offender, allegedly. We'll do the disclaimer. Use allegedly. No one's been found guilty in a court of law yet. I've heard a lot of recordings, though, that have me pretty fucking convinced. You were trying to kill me many times. And had you not been recorded, I might very well be dead. Had those police officers not done their job effectively. And you call all around trying to find them. Apparently here you called all the governors and told them, you tell your local law enforcement to stop stopping our crime. We need the actual recordings to buy them and destroy the evidence. 50,000 plus that I've heard, that I've typed up in emails, sir. Would you like me to give you the subject matter? I'm going to give you the subject matters. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, even if no one else does. In your court trial, in your criminal trial, you will have to explain all this. Muffin Man, Rumpelstiltskin, Ratatouille, Pin the Tail on the Donkey, Follow the Yellow Brick Road, Hansel and Gretel. What do those mean, Mr. Perry? Who's the Muffin Man to you? How do I even have those? Those are your little code words for what criminal activity we're going to do to her next. You have a little game plan. We'll do this, XYZ to her, and we'll call it XYZ code name, daycare code name. Who's the Muffin Man to you? That's a nickname of someone involved in your little weirdo group, right? Who is he? Who's Calvin to you? Who's Blankenship to you? Who's Desiree to you? How do I know those names? Who's Monique and Mary Beth to you? How do I have those names? Oh, police. Investigating your criminal activity, your sex exploitation. I told you 5 years ago you will not get away with it this time. When you get a picture of me from anyone, why is the maintenance man taking a picture of me, Mr. Perry? How do you know where I am if you're not stalking? I have 3 people in my office that asked me, how did they even know she was in Manford? We're not stalking her. We had no idea that's where she was. Same goes here, sir. You've threatened me with false arrest, murder, economic loss, property loss over every day for 13 years. I left. I didn't want to have a conflict with you. I did my job. I got you elected. That was my job. You know why? Because these police are smart. They had a strategy. They hired a shrink. She knows every one of you guys, inside, outside, backward, and forward. She sits down and explains to them, if we do this, they'll do that. And you do it every time. It's like you can't control yourself. You do it exactly like she says every fucking time. It's so easy, it's not fair. You got a pile of criminal shit. And when you start digging dirt to try to cover that up, now you've got a hole and you're in it. And the more you try to cover up your crap, when you do it to me, the more uncovered it is, more than ever in your life. I want to know, how many times has your crime been caught before you met me, and how many after? We've got the bus pass. Kick her out of her house, take her car away, hand her a bus pass, and send her anywhere but New Mexico or Las Vegas. We want her back in Texas. We can do more to her in Texas. Recording. That was recorded. That's an email representing a recording that you're asking to buy and destroy, and no one will help you. I'm not going to help you. When you're gone, I don't have to live like this anymore. You've done everything that disgusts and turns women off. The shrink tells the judge, this is not about a date. Because men who wanted you're married, you're happily married, I'm happily married. When we met the person that we were attracted to, that we are married to now, we did things to attract them. We did things they like. That doesn't involve becoming a peeping Tom, hacking, causing one problem after another, one loss after another, taking their house away 5 times, 6 times, putting them in jail under a lie, false pretenses, a fraud, a perjury. We didn't smear them all over the news. We did things they like. Mr. Perry does everything Cynthia hates, every horrible, criminal, nasty, ugly, gross, cruel thing no normal person could even think of. And then can't figure out why she doesn't like him. So, we all know this is not about a date. He's full of shit. But what he did is go into court and say that there was a political vendetta with no evidence to support that at all whatsoever. She helped him get elected. That's why she was hired. I can't get paid until you're gone because you guys illegally get access to my bank account. You sit down and you have a meeting every day and we got it recorded. We don't record it. It is recorded and we get it. Every fucking day. How much money is in her bank? How much cash does she have? Is she going to work today? If she's going to work today, we got to call our people who have doorbell cameras and have them order on DoorDash. And we've called DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grubhub, all three of them. And they've told us the same thing over and over and over. But for hacking, he cannot do that. We hear you have a contract with Uber Eats and a contract with DoorDash and a contract with Grubhub. But here's the thing. Those contracts aren't worth the paper they're written on when it's a criminal act. It doesn't even matter. All the non-disclosures, that's witness tampering is all that is. It's not worth the paper it's written on, sir. Because these individuals are witnesses to your crime. The contract doesn't even mean a fucking thing. It is evidence of witness tampering. It is evidence of grand larceny with intent to coerce. It is evidence of interference with contracts and commerce with intent to coerce. And that's all that is. So you have all the contract sign you want. What we call it is evidence of witness tampering. Those people that you have called at DoorDash to sign a contract are witnesses to your crime. They can testify against you. And the contract is null and void. Right? See, we have a prosecutor that has told me all this. After hearing your recordings over and over and over, you get up every day and you do the same thing that gets you told on, and no date. There's no chance of a date. In 13 years, you have no real love life and you have no date. You're watching TV pretending. A little child can do that. The skill set of a monkey watching TV hitting buttons all day and nothing more. You're rejected and you're told on every fucking day. How many times were you told on before you met me? How many after? And why is it different when you do it to me? Because I have help. You're in trouble. You're a job. And nothing more. You need a cover-up and you didn't get it this time, did you? I don't like men who act like little prissy pants. Little pathetics. Nothing more pathetic than a little bitch who cannot move on. Everybody else moves on. Why can't you? You're just like this guy. I got a picture of you. I'm going to get you. And is he going to get a date out of that? Oh, hell no. This man will... you're no different than Neil. You're worse. Your mind is one sick, twisted thing, isn't it? Do you have Huntington's disease, Mr. Perry? Here's what our guys did, is they sat down and strategized. This guy's an accountant. Boring. Has a boring life. So he needed something, to fill the bore that his life is. He's a sex weirdo. He puts our witness says, he puts hidden cameras in women's home when they're not there. He chooses women who are divorced with children, have a nice happy home, nice happy family, a good system of support, and he begins to blow up their lives, little babies, little children. You don't like that I know that. You want to kill me, or you want to false arrest me, or you want to subjugate me with economic duress and strain and stress. And we've said it over and over. It's duly noted for the record. Your intent is to commit a crime. Your intent is to coerce. Your intent is to force me against my will to say or do something I don't want to. This is Cynthia Ortiz. I don't want to lie for you. I don't like you. I don't want you. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to be your Ghislaine. How do you say her name? Ghislaine Maxwell. You're Jeff Epstein, except worse. Much, much worse. Watching a child take a bath, selling that child watch time on the dark web is what our witness said you do. He said he trolls women. Ever since I've known Charles Perry, he trolls women. He travels, won't take his wife with him, Jacqueline. He goes alone. Nobody really knows what he's doing. What he said he's doing is trolling women. He puts hidden cameras in their home and broadcasts them all over the dark web and sells watch time. And most of them don't know it. They don't know there's a camera in their house. And then they get fired. He'll get them fired. And then he'll hack them. So when they try to find another job, he makes sure they don't find another job. These kids now are going without food and electricity and water and gas. They call their family. He'll get the families to berate them like it's their fault. He's causing the problems, not them. These people have had a whole life of success, a whole life of stability. They may have a little thing here or there. A lot of people do. Everybody does. But he's causing the problems intentionally. He is a sexual sadist. He gets off on getting women hysterical. The witness worded it. He will go get these women hysterical and go rub one out. He's a sex weirdo. He's a sexual deviant. He's a criminal. Because it is illegal to do all of that. Sexual exploitation of women and children. Human rights violation. Torture, torment, and starvation of women and children. Babies. Little 4-year-old kids. Little 10-year-old kids. You're hurting them bad. I was called in to help. Now you're trying to hurt me. Lucky was trying to help. Mike Neely was trying to help. And then you hurt them. And you think you're going to get a pass. While you're looking for who has the actual recordings. Yep. Anyways, so what he said is that he will get these women fired. He interferes with the relationship with family and the system of support. And then he makes sure they can't find another job. Then they lose their house. Then he has the ex take the kids away. And I'm glad somebody's finally putting a stop to it. Because I'm sick of sleeping with one eye open. This guy's a monster. I wish he hadn't told me that. He was looking for a handout. He's a freeloader. He wanted me to invest in his weirdo company. And it's sick. It's twisted. It's disturbing. So, I was hired because you can get an undercover that will go in to see an accountant pretending they need their taxes done only a few times, and you might get wise to it. Although you're stupid, so you might not have. But they made a decision that because you've got so many people involved in this, sir, they needed to go at it from a different direction. So what they did is they had me help you get elected. He's a grandiose thinking serial killer. Appeal to that. Use it against him. Get him elected. Encourage him to run for office. Get the guy in office. Then he's a public figure. So whatever he does, we can make sure that is made public. And it protects the victims in a way while we get our case done. It's international. Your crime is international, sir. We have 12 reporters helping us in the Need to Know. 12 of them. A lot of them have law degrees. They are sickened by what you've done. Sickened by it. Did you call Murdoch and tell him, bury my story while Jody Arrington goes on the news talking about what a great job he's doing as a congressman? You're asking Murdoch, bury my story. What I've done is so hideous and heinous, it will make people hate my guts, so bury it. If you do something to the least of these, you've done it to me. God said that. Aren't you a Baptist deacon like BTK? Are you pretending that too? You don't give a fuck about who you hurt or how bad you hurt them, do you? All you want to know is who told on me. Who's telling on me? Who's stopping my crime? You stop stopping my crime. I hear it every fucking day, your people. We got to find out who's stopping our crime. You're not entitled to commit crime, Mr. Perry. You're not entitled to that. We're entitled to our privacy. We're entitled to our rights. We're entitled to live our lives without you bothering us. So, who get off your high horse. You're a sick little fuck. You're a sick, twisted fuck. I think you're even worse than BTK. I really do. Jeffrey Dahmer was about the worst there is. He's a cannibal. A gay cannibal. He would get men and get some kind of sexual arousal out of killing them and eating them. You're almost that bad. You hurt babies. Little children. When you broadcast a little child in the privacy of their home, what is supposed to be the privacy of their home all over the internet, and you sell watch time, that is child pornography, and it doesn't get any sicker than that. And you're caught when you did it to me. I was sent to Lubbock to get you elected, and that was supposed to be the end of it, sir. But you're a little wacky, aren't you? You don't have any self-control. Criminologists tell us that criminals have low IQ and no impulse control, and that's you, to a T. You're as dumb as they come. So when this guy says, I have a picture of you, Mr. Perry says that to me all the time. You just have the maintenance guy take a picture of me? I did say you're stalking. I did say you're a stalker, didn't I? So what are you trying to do? Get me go, well, I told you so. He shouldn't even know where I am. Shouldn't care. He claims he's not stalking. And then wants me to lie about it. Comes out with all these pictures of me from when I'm working. Shouldn't know, shouldn't care. How did they even know she was in Manford? She did say he's stalking her, right? Yeah. Well, we're not stalking her. We had no idea where she was. Why is he? Why does he know? Yep. So then I'm like, well, I did say. I told you so. So we have the McNamara email. We have the Fabian puzzle. We have the Mike was drugged email. We have the bus pass email. We have the follow the yellow brick road email. We're going to use the carrot and the stick approach with her email. We got to get her back to Texas so we can do more to her email. Mike was drugged. Did I say that one already? Mike was drugged. Mike was drugged. I said Mike was drugged way before it was on the docket. That wasn't public. First responders confirmed that months after I said it to the Florida State's attorney because you were trying to kill him and then you framed him. He was going to stop your crime. They were talking about Epstein right before the murder, hours before the murder. So you guys got in that room, drugged Mike, Lucky starts yelling at you, and you beat him to death while Mike slept through the whole thing. And you wouldn't let me testify. And now we have one of our reporters go, gosh, that's not fishy. That's not fishy at all. I filed a car vandalism complaint. You got in my car with a key. A key you don't have the legal right to get. I told you so. You put powder all over the trunk. I'm like, the fuck is this? I asked the maid, did you see who did this? Look at this. Nope, but look in this room. It's covered with that same shit. So I tell Mike Neely, officer, Manford police officer Michael Neely, and Brett Gibson. It might be a stalker, it might not. Your investigation will let me know. If it is, I got to file for another protective order, don't you think? It's about the 20th thing they've done to my car. This is a new car. They threw a brick at the last one and totaled it. They've threatened my car. They were recorded saying, we're going to take her car. It's not legal, but we'll have it towed and sold before she figures that out. Kind of like you put women's cameras in women's homes and they don't know what you're doing. They don't know you're causing the problem. Your guy said that. We've never had one of our victims figure out we have cameras in their house. We've never had one figure out we were causing their problems. We've never had one sue us and invoice us. Because you're stupid business guys. You didn't think through civil liabilities, criminal liabilities. Maybe we ought to get a contract. You're freeloaders. You're like welfare people. You're entitled to take. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. So he said, and we've never had one solve a murder we committed to cover all that up. So why is it different with me? Looney Tune. Why is it different with me, you sex weirdo? Look at this. You're just like him.
Family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I
gonna
don't give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is that
the
a
whole
threat?
fucking army. I don't give a fuck.
How does this make you feel?
Huh?
You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that the
feel?
one that put up?
See what she's doing right here? She's saying, look what you do to me. Look what you're doing to me. It's illegal, and you're doing it anyway. You know that. This guy has a restraining order against him. She got a restraining order against him. Why isn't he in jail? Stalking is a felony. Stalking is a felony, TPD. Everybody is asking. Our reporters are like, everybody wants to know, you know what? Is TPD getting their palms greased? Or why the fuck is Perry not in jail? Maybe some of them are helping us. Maybe they're not. When this all shakes out, we'll find out, won't we? Yep. Because in connecting the dots, you don't give the police report over to the offender, TPD, right? And you did. He then obstructed justice and destroyed all my evidence. Not all of it, but a lot of it. You didn't properly collect it and preserve it, did you? And when there was an obstruction, you did nothing about that either. Subsequently, we got a dead chief. So the reporter says, we got 4 court proceedings here, 3 of her civil cases, and 1 murder trial of a police officer. All 4, she's kept out. They don't let her in. When you hear her podcast, then you know why. I don't have a law degree. You got 5 attorneys. 5 attorneys couldn't handle 1 chick with no law degree to even let me in to go, Judge, here's my evidence. The burden of proof is on me. I sued you. Here's my evidence. Here's my witnesses. And by the way, I need to put Mr. Perry on the stand. I got to talk to him in front of you. And you made sure that didn't happen. Why? What do you have to hide? You got something to hide, or you'd have let me in the court. There's no harm in letting Cynthia, I'm quoting somebody, there's no harm letting Cynthia in a courtroom to show evidence she doesn't have. They're proving her out by not letting her in 4 times, including the murder trial of a cop. You think that didn't piss off cops all over the country? I promise you it did. And then y'all call and go, is it you? Do you have the recordings? We want to buy them. You getting any takers on that? How many people have called you and said, I got them, I'll sell them to you? No one. You got a lot of people against you. They hate your guts. You guys are the most hated men in America right now. You just don't know it yet. If we know what you said, we got our ear to the ground in a whole lot of places. You have no idea, Calvin. How do I even know who you are, Calvin? I do know who you are, Calvin. And you don't know how I know that, do ya? So when you fuck with me, it all of a sudden changed. Everything changed. You got a new normal. And now you want to, continue to threaten me? Are you shitting us with that, really? And TPD, I'm sorry, but people are questioning your integrity. If that were me, I'd be in jail. So how much are they paying TPD? Listen, I know there's a lot of cops that got paid, put the money in evidence. Mr. Perry got upset he didn't get his cover up, and he took it back. He's got it. A lot of it. It was $25 million. I don't know what it is now. I don't even care. I'm sure the guy's helping me know, but right now that's not my priority to know that. My priority is something else. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what it is. But they strategized, and they said, let's get him elected. And that way, everything he does in his private life is public. It's public. The public has the right to know. He's asking for them to hire him. So they have the right to know what he's all about. Everybody had the right to know about Bill Clinton and Monica. Everybody had the right to know about John Ensign and Cynthia. Everybody had the right to know about Al Franken grabbing asses. Everybody had the right to know about Bill O'Reilly and his little thing. And Roger Ailes. And Anthony Weiner. But not you. Why are you special? You're not more important than Bill Clinton, I assure you. I know you think you are. You need to get off your high horse and get a grip on reality. We've said the same thing over and over. Mr. Perry, shut up. Shut the fuck up. No one cares what you think. You were not asked, were you? You know what you were told to do? Shut the fuck up and get away from me. You act like you have no idea what I'm saying. You act like you just don't know. So they wanted you to get elected so that the whole situation and the whole scenario for you changes. You're out campaigning, you're out kissing babies and shaking hands, and those guys have gone and talked to you face to face, and you didn't know that's who you were talking to. Dave has, Matt has, Josh has, you have, and Joe has. All of you have talked to them, and you had no idea. Not a clue that that's who you were talking to. You don't get to have a lie. You don't get to live a lie, sir. You wanted to be a public figure. You put your name in the ring and said, I want to be a public figure. And they knew they could use that against you, Mr. Perry. They used me to help you. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. They didn't use me. I said, I'll do this. Yeah, I'll help you. I'm Chief Hall's granddaughter. I'll absolutely help you. Absolutely help you. Because the goal here, our stated goal is to relieve the suffering caused by your crime. Everything changes when you do it to me. Everything's different when you do it to me. The stated goal for us is to relieve the suffering caused by the crime that you commit day after day after day. Little children's lives blown up. They're crying. They're upset. They're hurt. Their moms ripped away from them. They lose their home. My children went through the same thing. You did it to my family. So now when the witness testifies, I can also testify and say, the witness, is telling the truth. You know how I know he did it to me? Here's my evidence. I said he was going to false arrest me in October 2015, and he did it. I was in compliance, following the laws in the state where I lived in Oklahoma, and he knew that. He had me arrested for following the law in the state where I lived, and he knew that. He went into court and said there was a political vendetta with zero evidence to show that, and a false police report. The charges that you had me charged with in Lubbock, filing a false police report in retaliation for a public servant doing his job as a senator. Are you unable to identify your legislative duties and what state you legislate in? Because I lived in Oklahoma. I still do. I don't live in Texas. I haven't since September 2014. You did that in January 2016. I've been long gone, sir. Anybody sit around and wring your hands over some little small town podunk nobody elected official in a state where you don't live? You don't matter, sir. I do. I matter. I know people in power, and you don't have any. Everything changed when you did it to me. Do you understand what I'm saying or not? I don't think you do. You act like you have no idea what I'm saying. Not a clue. This is who you are.
All those scratches on your arm, you want to see the
Scratches?
I
got scratches.
I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I
gonna
don't
get
give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army.
You're gonna
I don't give a
find
fuck.
out.
This make you feel?
Huh?
You're filming my father and my fucking sister.
How does it make you feel when somebody does it to you? So, I don't know, you're all Christian and shit. You know, I worked in a strip club for 6 years. Never once quoted the Bible in there. Ever. Because only the sick need the medicine, and you're sick. And your medicine is, don't be deceived. Don't bullshit yourself. You're going to reap what you sow. God is not going to let you mock him. When you do it to these little children, to the least of these, you've done it to me. Be not deceived. God isn't mocked. You will reap what you sow. In fact, you already are. Because when you invade my privacy and you hurt children and you evade theirs, and you watch us in the privacy of our home where we have the reasonable expectation of privacy in our house, you do it without their knowledge. You do it against my will, without my consent. It's disgusting. You're creepy. Peeping Tom is a crime. It's a felony. You're a sex offender. You don't have a real love life. You got a TV show and you're pretending, and you look pathetic. You're making a buffoon of yourself, Mr. Perry. So, I mean, you're not wanted or loved. You're told on every fucking day. So when you do that, you invade privacy, and then we start quoting what you just said in your little plan of crime meeting, where we got evidence of premeditation and mens rea. The thing is, when you go to court and a criminal case, you got to prove the person knew they were committing a crime. They did it anyway. They knew. And they planned it. It's premeditated. You intended to cause a harm. You did it on purpose. Purposeful availment to the jurisdiction in the place where you committed that crime against a person that you injured in a way we won't ever get over. Ever. You did it on purpose. You knew it was a crime. You did it anyway. And you guys are famous for, we've got an email that said, McNamara email, he's going to false arrest me. I sent it in October. You did it in January. You knew I had to file a police report. You obstructed justice and destroyed my evidence. I hadn't even talked to Tulsa police yet. They had not properly collected my evidence and then investigated my complaint. And you went into court and said, oh, it's a false report. How do you know? You obstructed justice. You, by physical force, prevented and delayed me from reporting your crime, and you retaliated against me for reporting your crime. The crime was attempted fucking murder. You guys were giving me arsenic. You were trying to kill me in there. And you were going to blame it on, oh, she just works in a strip club where, you know, all kinds of things happen like that. And where's Tulsa police? How much are they paying Tulsa police? We hear it all the fucking time, TPD. I'm sorry. We got one cop that tells one of my guys, guess what? They call me. We got a cross-jurisdictional case. They call me. I'm going to put them on hold, and I'm going to lunch. I have a stellar reputation. And if they'll put their own family, cop family, under the bus, Cynthia and Mike, they'll do it to anybody. And I don't trust a fucking thing they do or say. I won't work with them. I'll tell them you're on your own. That's the reputation you're getting from doing what you're doing by letting these guys get away with what they're doing. We have a big case. You got 5 guys. You could have helped us, and you didn't. And that's why you're not in the need to know. You can call everybody you want to call. Nobody's going to tell you guys a fucking thing. You showed everybody you can't be trusted. The second you gave my police report to the offender in a stalking case, and then the second thing you did is when they obstructed justice and destroyed my evidence, again, you did nothing. And then we get dead lucky and almost dead framed Mike. And I'm the one that solved that murder. I solved it, and you know that. I have help from these guys, but guess what they do sometimes? Sin, look at this and tell us what you think. I can think past tying my shoe, or they wouldn't have brought me in on this, would they have? So I'm looking it over, and I tell them, here's what I think happened. Yep, that's what we think too. But they did go over, and they found out Mike was drugged. They went over to Florida. They talked to some people. You can sit in a bar and have a chat with somebody, and they don't know what they're... We know we can do a sting op like a motherfucker. All of us can. I've gotten information out of your people no one's gotten. Right? 6 years you guys had to get me to slip up, make a mistake. Right? You sent all your guys in, Pinto, Mickey James, David Robertson, Wagner, Terry Wagner, Joel, all your people that you hired to come in and proxy stalk for you. Right? You had cops in there. I gave all kinds of lap dances to cops. Right? 2 of them told me, before my false arrest, he's just trying to find a way to false arrest you. I turned around and wrote a letter to the U.S. Attorney. It's out everywhere. It's on the docket in all 3 cases. So, who do you think you're fooling, Mr. Perry? Everything changed when you did it to me. On 9/11, the first plane hits the building. We don't know what happened. The second plane hits the building. We all know it's terrorism. Did it take 4 events for you to figure out it was terrorism? Are you that slow? Because the rest of the world is not. We all got it. The second plane. It's terrorists. It didn't take the news media telling us. We knew. Everybody knew. So if you think people don't know that when I have 100 emails that you did exactly what the email says after the email sent, that you're not doing exactly what I say, you're off your nut. You really are mentally retarded. And our shrink thinks that you are, because your reactions are never appropriate to what's just said. They never are. You act like you didn't understand a word I said. You're in a lot of trouble. And you act like you have no idea. How many times was your crime caught before you did it to me, and how many after, Calvin, David, Josh, Joe, Matt, and Charles? I want to know the numbers. Can you still add and subtract, Mr. Perry? Do you have Huntington's disease or Alzheimer's or both? It's very irritating that I have to say the same thing over and over and over and over. And you act like you never heard it before. You never respond appropriately. With who I am, sir, it is highly inappropriate for you to do the things that you do and try to talk to me. The only way I will talk to you is after you're arrested. Listen to me when I say this. Everybody listen and write it down. My guys will do it. My guys are going to make the arrest when they're ready. You don't know what day that will be. You don't know what day the plug's going to be pulled. And you're done. And I will not be broke ever again. You'll be gone. The problems you cause, gone. Your creepy problem, gone. Your peeping Tom problem, gone. We have no problems getting information. And you've called and called and called looking for the actual recordings, and you can't get shit. Nobody's helping you with that, are they? You killed a cop. So you've called all the governors and you've told them, tell your locals, don't tell them to stop stopping my crime. Is that right? Was Claire Barnes in town recently? What? How did I know that? How did I know that? you're under police investigation, and you don't know how many jurisdictions are involved, do you? So the reporter tells us, had they done what she said in March 2020 and gotten Michael Neely back home to his family, Lucky Miller just did a drug bust. They could have framed one of those guys. Then there would be no link to the vandalism she just reported 6 days before that murder. No link to the murder. No link to her. They could say, we back the blue. Clearly, he has not a mark on him. He couldn't have done this. We're supportive of cops. So we're going to help him get home. She's right. I'm an elected official in Texas. I don't want any scrutiny on me, any suspicion on me. So I'm going to be the one to back the blue publicly and say, I'll help him get home. But that's not what they did. They kept her out of his trial, and had she testified and the jury heard what she had to say, he'd be home right now. When you conceal a material fact from the deciding body, it is perjury. It is perjury by concealment. And you've done that 4 times now, and that's what she said. Here we have 4 illegal proceedings in a courtroom. Illegal. Illegal as it gets. I have a law degree. It's illegal as it gets. 4 of them. It only took 2 times for the planes to hit the building before we knew it was terrorism. It didn't take all 4 events for us to figure out it was terrorism. Did it you? Are you that slow? But the rest of the world knew immediately. We got a terrorist attack. 4 court proceedings. I'm not in the courtroom. There's no harm in letting her in the courtroom if she has no evidence. The guy said, I'm quoting him, what's the harm of letting Cynthia in a courtroom to show evidence she does not have? Right? If she's lying, why is he trying to coerce her? You only coerce somebody who's telling the truth to make them lie. And it is a crime. So, all these emails that we have, sir, 50,000 of them, the bus pass email, the McNamara email, I got a Fabian puzzle in jail. Fabian's name's on that, not yours. It's not some random guy's. It's nobody else's name. It's his name. You butt into that. And that's what that puzzle depicts. You're a stalker. You're a delusional, rejected, fail stalker. And nothing more. Except you have a sex weirdo problem that has become an astronomical criminal thing that everybody wants gone. We wouldn't be able to get information so easily if everybody didn't want it gone. And you're not getting any help, and you're not getting information. We are. You have leaks, and we do not. And that doesn't tell you everybody hates your guts and wants you gone. Do you understand me? Try to understand what people say to you. Act like you understand what people say to you. Your conduct is disgusting, offensive, cruel, and everybody's sick of it. Listen to the words I'm saying, Perry. Your conduct is illegal, offensive, deviant, cruel, and everybody's sick of it. Everybody's sick of what you're doing to me. Watching you ruined my life. Everybody's sick and tired of it, and that's why we have so many. They have been for a while. I said it in March 2020. When you offered a bribe, you got caught trying to kill me. I think we found a hitman that can kill her, and it won't be linked to us. We'll stage a medical emergency at her work. And when she helps the guy, she'll help the guy. She's got medical background. She's got a good heart. She'll help. Then we'll tell her he's got a virus or something. And that if she has to have a shot, or she'll get it too. And your hitman said, what if she won't take the shot? And you said, you make sure she takes the shot. You tell her she'll die if she doesn't. And I emailed that to my attorney. And I didn't go to work. How much money did I lose that night? How much money have I lost? Because I have to make a decision. Do I be safe or do I eat? Now you got people complaining about that. No woman should have to go through that and decide between safety and food. That is economic abuse. It is domestic violence. It is stalking. And it is racketeering and fraud. RICO Act violations, sir. You're in serious trouble. So, after you got caught on that, and you start offering a bribe, I'll give you whatever you want if you'll lie. And I said, ew, fuck no. You are not going to give me what I want, because here's what I want. I want Fabian and Tristan up here for us to talk, and you butt out. And I want my money back that you've taken from me. Every penny of it. I want Michael Neely home with his family. I want my club full of people again, because you ran off all of our customers that paid and were cool and fun to hang out with, not creepy and the weird guy. And get out. You get the fuck out. And I never ever hear from you again. And you declined. You wouldn't do it. So now that's what the reporter spoke to. Had they done that, had they fucking done that, if she continued to assert that they killed Chief Miller and framed Mike, we would say she's wrong, if not a little nutty, even if they did do it. Even if they did do it, we would think she was nuts. Because they helped Mike get home. There's no reason to think that they did that. She's not hurting money-wise. They're not trying to coerce her or witness tampering. There's no evidence of that. But that's not what they did. They have done instead everything that makes them look guilty. Now we have 4 court proceedings where material facts have been concealed from the deciding body. She wasn't in that courtroom, and she knew he didn't do it. She's the one that said he was drugged. It wasn't on the docket yet. It wasn't even taken in depositions yet. I said it in March 2020. They didn't do depositions, Mr. Perry, until May. I read his whole case. I read it cover to cover. Guess what? The second I started telling people I was going to look into that, guess what everyone said about me? This is my reputation. You watch. She will find every mistake they made. That's my reputation. That's the Cynthia people know me to be. Not some stupid little stripper. I had a whole life before you met me, sir. I'm Chief Hall's granddaughter. I'm the one that has fucked up your crime like nobody you know. And so now you need a smear campaign. Now you need to subjugate me. Now you need a lie. And I won't give you that. I'll starve instead, and I have. For years, you've made sure I didn't barely made it. That is evidence of coercion. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. Interference with interstate contracts and commerce with intent to coerce. Interference with commerce with intent to coerce. And now it involves hacking too. You guys use Snapchat, and we know that. You're having people around me take pictures of me, and then you threaten them. Did you talk? Did you say something to her? Josh got the picture for you. You happy? Did he Snapchat that to you? Did you threaten him? Take the picture or else. Is that what you do? You do the same thing to everybody else you do to me. You're going to do what we say, or we'll ruin your life. Yep, well, guess what? Everybody's had about enough of it. You have leaks, we do not. You can't get the recordings, can you? How much money have you put out there that you'll pay for those? Anybody helping you? Anybody saying, sure, I got them. I'll give, how much? Give me money. I'll give them to you. Nope, you don't, do you? Because everybody's sick of you. Everybody's sick and tired of what you're putting me through. My family. You call my son when he's in college once a week. I think they found a way to arrest her and make it look okay. You're supposed to just be cool with it. Then he's asking me, is your son a leak? Guess what? I'm not told who the leaks are. I'm not told that. And nor do you have the right to know. You have been told repeatedly to stop threatening people. You killed a cop. You killed a cop. And the reporter said they did exactly the opposite of what anybody who was smart would do if they wanted that covered up. They didn't even cover it up right. Because if they were smart, they would have framed the meth guy. He probably had did something he should be in prison for anyway. We backed the blue. We don't want suspicion on us. Get him home. We'll help him. But that's not what they did. Instead, they committed fraud upon a court again for the 4th time. Concealment of material facts. They wouldn't let her in. I filed, when I look on the docket, I'm looking on the docket, my deposition's not there. I was deposed. My deposition's not there. And I'm like, the fuck? They're going to keep me out. They're not going to let me testify for him. And I know he didn't do it. Nobody knows that more than I do. because Charles Perry's under investigation. I knew he was drugged. I told the Florida State's attorney, you got the wrong guy. He didn't do it. He was drugged. He slept through the whole thing. He was knocked out cold from drugs. May is when they said, yeah, we treated him with Narcan. He was drugged. That's for opioid overdose. And there's not a bump on his head. And his hands do not look anything like Chief Miller's face. You killed a cop that I went to. I went to a cop and you killed him. And I will never forgive you for that. I will never forgive Tulsa police for ignoring the first stalking report I filed and then the obstruction of justice report that I filed. And they did not a fucking thing. And had they, where would Lucky might be now? Did they do that, Charles, because you're buying them or because you threatened them or both? That's what you do. Threats and the bribes. I'll give you money if you do what I tell you. And if you don't, I'll blow your life up. Is that what you did to TPD? What? See, it's not always about, oh, they're just greasing palms and TPD's corrupt and blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. I don't think it's always about that. Not because I know them, but because I know you. That's what you do. That's what David Robertson does. That's what Calvin does. That's who you are. So I'm not necessarily, I'll never forgive Tulsa police because I'll tell you one thing. Once I'm starting to quote people and they could have come and talked to me and said, we are being threatened. We're being threatened too. Then we can include them in some plans that will put a stop to all of that. Because here's the thing. Once you're gone, Charles, all the threats are gone too. They go with you. We can all breathe easier. We don't have to be scared and stressed out all the time. And I know half of your people are on pins and needles all the time. Is she going to find out before? Is she going to know before? Is she going to take the bait we put out for her today to try to entrap and provoke? Right? You do it every day. My guys told me yesterday, these guys are on pins and fucking needles. Every single one of them. Is she going to take the bait today? Because you're provoking and you're entrapping. You need a lie. But your crime's not been as uncovered ever in your life as it is when you do it to me. How do I know who Calvin is? How do I have a bus pass email? Let's get her a bus pass. Take her card, take her home, and get her a bus pass. How do I have that? How do I know who Calvin, Blankenship, and Desiree are? How do I know who the Muffin Man is? How do I have your daycare code words? How do I know you were looking for the recordings? How do I know you contacted all the governors and said, tell your locals to stop stopping our crime if it's them? How do I know you've talked to my friends and family? Did she ever mention being in law enforcement or having connections to law enforcement? I haven't. They don't know. They don't know a fucking thing about it. They won't be able to answer your questions at all, and you need to leave them alone. That was the most weird conversation I've ever had, the guy said. I'm not going to tell you which guy. Somebody I've known a long time. How do you make an unweird conversation? I mean, how do you have a weird... What is is there an unweird way to say, do you know who's stopping my crime? Yeah, he thought it was weird. Your questioning was weird. It made him very uncomfortable. You're weirdo, Charles. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're told on. You're making people very uncomfortable. And everybody just wants you to go away. So we don't have problems getting information before you do it. And you can't get shit. Take the fucking hint already. It's a blow-off hint. You're causing people to be creeped out, disturbed, stressed out. Nobody likes loss, problems, drama. You're all about drama. You are one big drama soap opera queen. Nobody likes being creeped out. Nobody likes watching cruelty. Nobody liked Hitler, who ripped away people's homes that they had worked for all their lives and businesses, and ripped people away from their families and put them in a shack with lice and gave them a biscuit once a week and said, I've fed them and housed them. And once he was gone, everybody was happy. Everybody could breathe easier. Everybody's free. And the same is true for you. You're the same. You've done exactly the same thing. You're ripping families apart. You're taking homes away that women have worked hard for and careers that they worked hard for. And you're blowing up a child's life, a baby. And the thing is when a child's life blows up and they feel like God's not there for them, why did God let this happen? And you ruin their faith. A soul is sacred ground. You're going to have a hell to pay like you don't know. And so you reap what you sow. God isn't mocked. You reap what you sow. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't bullshit yourself. As it turns out, we're all in the palm of his hand, all of us. You're no better than those children. Why do you think you are? So you blow up their lives and they lose faith in God. And God said, it is better that a millstone be hung around your neck and you be thrown into the sea than to cause one of these little ones to give up on God because you blew their life up. Jesus said that. Aren't you a Christian? Don't say you're a Christian and then crap up somebody's life. Don't crap up somebody's life and then think they're going to help you. They're not going to help you. They're going to help whoever's going to make you be gone. Act like you understand me. Act like you understand what people say. So, the background on this one is this.
Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I
don't. Just talk.
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please,
what
God
happened?
bless you, but
What
please leave
happened?
me alone. Please leave me alone. Please, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I
don't. Just talk.
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you.
I don't want to talk to you unless you're arrested and you've waived your right to counsel after being Mirandized. And you want to confess and you want to explain Monique, Mary Beth. You want to explain Justice Scalia. You want to explain Chief Miller. You've done some very bad things. You're a very bad man. And everybody wants you gone. This young lady can have a better life once Neil's gone. She can't even walk out of her house without him doing that to her. So finally she's saying, I just want proof. Charles, I said shut up. No one cares what you think. Were you asked? I don't think you were. What did I say? Act like you understand me. Shut up and get away from me. He types in my computer when I do these, like he thinks it's a conversation. He shouldn't even be in my computer. Get the fuck out of my computer. Get the fuck out of my life. Get away from me. When you do it to me, everything changed. You get caught. You get told on, and that's all that happens. There's never a date. You have no real love life. You have never a date in 13 years. You're told on and told on and caught and told on and caught and told on and caught. And nothing else has happened, sir, but that. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're told on. You have leaks. We don't. Act like you understand what I just said. Because it seems like you have no fucking idea. So our shrink thinks you're mentally retarded. And you're not showing any evidence that you're not. You got something wrong with you. You're nuttier than a fruitcake. This is nutty.
Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I
don't. Just talk.
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I don't ever want to hear your.
And so everybody else sees this guy like this.
That's okay. I don't care.
Garbage and a disgust. You're a deviant. You're a criminal deviant. You're outside social norms. You're crossing boundaries. You have no dignity, no respect, and you act like a buffoon.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
That's social norm. You're a social deviant. You're a sexual deviant too. Or you wouldn't peep.
Yep, and maybe you should
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.